First, I want to start this off by saying I had to re record this episode or video because the first time I did it, it only recorded the audio, not the video, because I'm still new to this. So I went back and re recorded the video, and I'm just going to put my audio over it. So if it seems kind of weird if you're watching, that's why. So my apologies. There was one button I had to hit to get them both correct, and I didn't. So, enjoy. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my week 2 review, or my week 2 pick review for the NFL, and then we will make our picks for week 3. Starting off Thursday night, I picked Washington to beat Green Bay. Obviously, I failed. Jaden Daniels was 24 of 42 for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Love was 19 of 31 for 292 and 2 touchdowns. Their leading rusher was a 3-way tie. Wow. Green Bay's leading rusher was Josh Jacobs, 84 yards. Washington's leading receiver was Zach Ertz. Green Bay's leading receiver was Tucker Kraft for 124. No fumbles by either team or interceptions. I chose Buffalo to beat the Jets, and they did. Josh Allen was 14 of 25 for 148. No touchdowns, no picks. New York. Tyrod Taylor went 7 of 11 for 56 and a touchdown. Justin Fields was 3 of 11. I think he got concussed. Buffalo's leading rusher was James Cook for a $132. Leading receiver was Josh Palmer for 47. New York's leading rusher was Justin Fields, that's not a good sign. Their leading receiver was Garrett Wilson. Holy cow, New York fumbled 3 times. Buffalo fumbled once. No interceptions for either team. I picked Detroit to win at home over the Ben Johnson-led Bears, which I think most of us picked that anyway. Caleb Williams was 19 of 30 for 207, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Leading rusher was Swift. Leading receiver was Rome Odunze, although most of that was garbage time. Swift and Tyson Bagent fumbled one apiece. No interceptions. Jared Goff was 23 of 28 for 334 yards and 5 touchdowns. Absolutely insane. Gibbs was the leading rusher with 94 yards. St. Brown and J-Mo each had 100 yards receiving. The fact that J-Mo's was on 2 catches is insane. We didn't fumble at all, but we recovered one. We didn't throw any picks, but we got one. I chose Baltimore over Cleveland. Kind of self-explanatory. Joe Flacco was 25 of 45 for a $199, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Cleveland's leading rusher was Quinshawn Judkins with 61 yards, and leading receiver was Jerry Jeudy for 51 yards. Lamar was 19 of 29 for 225 and 4 touchdowns. Derrick Henry was their leading rusher for 23 yards. Wow. His longest was 8 yards. Leading receiver for Baltimore was Zay Flowers for 75. Derrick Henry fumbled once. Joe Flacco fumbled once. Baltimore picked Cleveland off one time. I chose Cincinnati to beat Jacksonville, which they did. I think Joe Burrow got hurt in this game. He's going to be out for 3 months, which is, man, Cincinnati, I feel for you. Trevor Lawrence was 24 42 for 271. 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Travis Etienne was their leading rusher. Parker Washington was their leading receiver. Trevor Lawrence fumbled once. Joe Burrow was 21 of 32 for 241, 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. Wow, those guys were the complete opposite. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Chase Brown was their leading rusher for 47. Jamar Chase, no surprise, was their leading receiver with 165. No fumbles. both fumbled one time. I picked the Patriots to beat the Dolphins. They did. Drake May was 19 of 23 for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson was their leading rusher for 54 yards and their leading receiver for 88 yards. Wow. New England fumbled once. Tua was 26 of 32 for 315 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Devon Achane was their leading rusher for 30 yards. Tyreek was their leading receiver for 109 yards. Miami did not fumble one time. Chose Dallas to beat the Giants, although it was pretty close. Russell Wilson was 30 of 41 for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. James Gadabo was their leading rusher for 45 yards. Neighbors, leading receiver for 167. 1 fumble. Dak was 38 of 52 for 361, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Javonte Williams was their leading rusher with 97. CD was their leading receiver for $112. And they fumbled once. I chose Pittsburgh to beat Seattle, and I was wrong. Sam Darnold was 22 of 32 for 295, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Kenny Walker III rushed for 105. Jackson Smith Najigba was their leading receiver for 103, no fumbles. Aaron Rodgers was 18 of 33 for 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Jaylen Warren was their leading rusher for 48 yards. Their leading receiver was also Jaylen Warren for 86. No fumbles. I chose the Saints to upset the Niners with all their injuries. I was wrong. Mac Jones was 26 of 39 for 279 and 3 touchdowns. McCaffrey was their leading rusher for 55. Juwan Jennings was the leading receiver for 89. They had 2 fumbles. Spencer Rattler was 25 of 34 for 207 and 3 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara was their leading rusher for 99. Olave was their leading receiver for 54. And they fumbled twice. Chose the Cardinals to win at home against the Panthers. What a dumpster fire that team is. Probably closer than a lot of people expected. Bryce Young was 35 of 55 for 328 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Chuba Hubbard was their leading rusher with 38 yards. Tate McMillan was their leading receiver with 100 yards. Bryce Young fumbled once. Kyler Murray was 17 of 25 for 220. A touchdown and a pick. Connor was their leading rusher for 34. And Trey McBride was the leading receiver with 78. No fumbles, but they recovered one. I chose Denver to beat Indianapolis, but apparently Daniel Jones is playing out of his mind. Bo Nix was 22 of 30 for 206, 3 touchdowns and a pick. J.K. Dobbins was their leading rusher for 76. Troy Franklin was their leading receiver for 89. No fumbles. No fumbles for the Colts. Their leading receiver was Tyler Warren for 79. Their leading rusher was Jonathan Taylor for 165. Daniel Jones was 23 of 34 for 316 and a touchdown. I chose Philly to beat Kansas City. That was correct. Jalen Hurts was 15 of 22 for 101 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. Saquon was their leading rusher for 88. Leading receiver was Devontae Smith for 53. And 1 fumble as a team. Kansas City also had 1 fumble as a team. Kelsey was their leading receiver for 61. Mahomes was their leading rusher for 66, which is just bizarre. And he also went 16 of 29 for 187 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. With how they came back against the Bears last week, I thought for sure Minnesota was going to handle Atlanta, but that one defender Atlanta has, he's going to be a problem this year. I forget his name. A Dabo or something. Anyway, I was wrong. And this one was Sunday night. Michael Penix Jr. was 30 of 21 for 135. No touchdowns, no picks. Bijan Robinson was the only highlight of the game, really, on offense. He ran for 143. Drake London was their leading receiver for 49. As a team, they fumbled once. As a team, Minnesota fumbled receiver with 81. Jordan Mason was their leading rusher for 30. I do believe Aaron Jones is on IR now with a hamstring. And JJ did not look good. He was 11 of 21 for 158 and 0 touchdowns and 2 picks. I chose Houston to beat Tampa because I thought their defense was pretty solid last week on Monday night. But Baker is the real deal. He went 25 of 38 for 215, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Bucky Irving was their leading rusher with 71. Mike Evans was their leading receiver for 56. They fumbled once as a team. Houston didn't fumble once. Nico was their leading receiver for 52. Their leading rusher was Nick Chubb for 43. And CJ Stroud went 13 of 24 for 207. 1 touchdown, no picks. I chose the Chargers to beat the Raiders. They did. Justin Herbert was 19 of 27 for 242 and 2 touchdowns, no picks. He was also their leading rusher for 31. Quentin Johnston was their leading receiver for 71. 2 fumbles as a team. Las Vegas fumbled once as a team, recovered 2. Leading receiver was Jacoby Myers for 68. Ashton Genty was their leading rusher for 43. And Gino was 24 of 43 for 180, 0 touchdowns, 3 picks. Well, that was how week 2 went for me and my decision making. We were 10-6 this week. So far in the season, we're 10-22, which I don't think that's right. Oh, right. I think we were 11-5 for week 1 because we used that other website. Now for my week 3 picks. Starting off Thursday, you got Miami at Buffalo. And let's be honest, why even waste time? Miami is a dumpster fire this year. I don't think Mike McDaniel will be there next year for the coach. Atlanta at Carolina. I'm going to ride the momentum of Atlanta. Carolina's another dumpster fire again. It's kind of sad to see, but it's the way of the world. Cincinnati at Minnesota with no Joe Burrow. I don't think they have a chance against this defense. Even though they didn't look as good last week. I think McCarthy's out for a couple games. I could be wrong. So actually it's the battle of the backups. But Cincinnati doesn't really have a defense. Oh no, Carson Wentz is playing for Minnesota. That's right. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring Minnesota victory. Green Bay at Cleveland. I'm going to go with the upset. As you know, I'm a Lions fan, so I had to. But Green Bay's look good so far. We'll see. Houston at Jacksonville. I'm going to take Houston for the first win. The Colts at the Titans. Indianapolis is looking good. I'm going to keep riding the momentum. The Raiders at the Commanders. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I think they get back on track. The rematch of the the divisional round last year. This was a very good game. It's probably going to be another good game. I really don't know who to pick. I'm going to take the Rams in the upset. Oh no, Philly's at home. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Rams. New York at Tampa. Now, I think Justin Fields is concussed. I don't know if he's playing. I don't know who their backup is. Tyler Huntley, I think. I'm an Aaron Glenn fan, but I think Tampa takes this one. Pittsburgh at New England. Ooh, that should be a good one, watching these two bozos duke it out. I don't know nothing about either team. I don't know, they got TJ Watt, that's pretty solid. Jalen Ramsey. I think Pittsburgh takes this one. The Broncos at the Chargers. Ooh, that'll be a good one too. But I'm a Justin Herbert fan, so I think they do it. Saints at Seattle. Now here's something crazy. I can't explain my pick, but I just feel like that's going to happen. Cardinals at the Niners. A couple undefeated teams going head to head. Oh man. Fred Warner, Defensive Player of the Week. Last Kansas City at the Giants. Now, the Giants winning would also be hilarious, but I think the Chiefs pull this one out. Now, this game, Monday night, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry at home against my Detroit Lions. I'm a little worried about this game, but I'm going to choose my team anyway, because why not? The Browns had them in the first half last week, and then they fell apart. Alright, so that is my week 2 review and my week 3 picks. So thank you so much for watching or listening. I hope you got some well needed rest or relaxation